Static in my brain. I've been twisting the dial since the sun went down, trying to tune into a familiar sound. But the frequency's broken, the signal is dead, and I'm trapped in the feedback inside of my head. I remember your voice like a clear summer day. Now it's cutting out, shifting and drifting away. Every memory of us is beginning to blur into a wall of white noise where we used to occur. I can't find the station, I can't hear the beat, just a cold, heavy buzzing down here on the street. I tried to reset it, I tried to unplug, but the wires are tangled in the shape of your hug, and it's just static in my brain tonight. A blinding white noise blocking out the light. I'm screaming your name, but the audio breaks, lost in the volume of our old mistakes. Yeah, the channel is empty, the screen is just gray, and I'm losing the words that I wanted to say. Turn it down, but the frequency stays just a loud, endless static where we end our days. Static in my brain. The bamboo fountain out back is still trickling slow, but I can't even hear where the water drops go, 'cause the fuzz in my head is a deafening roar, drowning out every footstep that approaches the door. I look at your picture, it's flickering out like an old television, surrounded by doubt. You left me with questions you never defined, and left the television running deep inside of my mind. I can't find the station, I can't hear the beat, just a cold, heavy buzzing down here on the street. I tried to reset it, I tried to unplug, but the wires are tangled in the shape of your hug, and it's just static in my brain tonight. A blinding white noise blocking out the light. I'm screaming your name, but the audio breaks, lost in the volume of our old mistakes. Yeah, the channel is empty, the screen is just gray, and I'm losing the words that I wanted to say. Turn it down, but the frequency stays just a loud and a static where we end our days. Static in my mind. There's an ache in the signal, a glitch in the track, a permanent hum that is holding me back. I wanna forget you, I want a clean space, but the white noise is carrying the ghost of your face. It's a physical pressure, a high voltage line burning through every last nerve that was mine. 'Cause it's just static in my brain tonight, a quiet distortion where we used to be bright. The channel is empty, the screen is just gray, and I finally forgotten what I wanted to say. No more panic, no more trying to tune in. The signal is gone, the station is dead, just a peaceful, cold quiet inside of my head. Static in my brain, brain. pages of color and shade. We had a beginning so fierce and so bright. We wrote in the margins by flickering light. I knew every line, every word on your tongue. A beautiful volume when we both were young. But I turned the leaf on the chapter last night, expecting the ending or maybe a fight. But there's no grand conclusion, no final goodbye, no parting confession under the sky. Just a sudden omission, a break in the thread, and 1,000 sentences left unsaid. And the final page is blank. The ink just stopped, the ship just sank. No closure, no warning, no beautiful phrase. Just an empty white space where we end our days. I'm staring at paper where you used to be, a ghost of a writer who walked out on me. Yeah, the book is wide open, but the words ran away. And the final page is blank. I trace the indents where your pen used to press. The weight of your promises now just a guess. Chapter 4 was the summer we spent by the sea. Chapter 9 was the winter you started to flee. I expected a tragedy, a teardrop or two, a paragraph explaining what happened to you. But the story just quits in the middle of May, like you dropped the pen and you just walked away. There's no grand conclusion, no final goodbye, no parting confession under the sky. Just a sudden omission, a break in the thread, and 1,000 sentences left unsaid. And the final page is blank. The ink just stopped, the ship just sank. No closure, no warning, no beautiful phrase. Just an empty white space where we end our days. I'm staring at paper where you used to be, the ghost of a writer who walked out on me. Yeah, the book is wide open, but the words ran away. And the final page is blank. How do I find a book that's half done? How do I read the eclipse of our sun? You left me to finish the poem alone, staring at letters that never were known. Did you run out of it? Did you run out of heart? Or did you just decide we were better apart? Better apart. To be, except in the silence you handed to me. The story is over, the spine is cracked, nothing left to read, no turning back. The final page is blank. The monitor hums in the quiet of the room, but the static isn't coming from the TV screens. The space between us widening too soon. The coldest distance that I've ever seen. You look at me, but your eyes are looking through like I'm a ghost or someone that you used to know. I'm holding your hand, but I'm losing you, and I don't know how to let you go. And my heart is screaming, stay alive, fighting for a love that's too tired to survive. I'm pumping air into a chest that won't move, trying to save what we're about to lose. But the rhythm is fading, the colors turn to gray. I can feel you slipping miles and miles away. And then the longest sound I've ever heard, just a steady, silent, final word. The flat line. Used to be a storm, a beautiful chaos of sound. Every laugh, every fight, a beat we could follow. Now the silence is heavy, weighing us down. And the house we built feels suddenly hollow. I look at the text that we used to send, full of promises we thought we'd keep. Now I'm reading the manual on how an empire ends, while you turn away and go to sleep. And my heart is screaming, stay alive, fighting for a love that's too tired to survive. I'm pumping air into a chest that won't move, trying to save what we're about to lose. But the rhythm is fading, the colors turn to gray. I can feel you slipping miles and miles away. Steady, silent, final word. The flat line. The flat line. There's no crash cart that can jumpstart a spark. There's no medicine for a soul till my throat was raw. Begged you to breathe, but you can't force a heart to want what it wants to leave. You chose to leave. You chose to leave. Quiet finality of your decision. No more pulse, no more pain. Just a straight line where you used to be. The flat line. Put on your black suit, step into the light. We've got a service to attend tonight. No one is crying, there are no tears to shed. Just an empty casket for the things we left dead. I'm holding a program printed in gray, listing the promises that you threw away. We gather in silence under the stone to bury the best parts of me that you've known. There are no flowers, no eulogy read, just a cold stone marker where we used to tread. I'm lowering the memory of your sweet embrace deep into the earth, leaving no trace. And it's the funeral of my feelings, the burial of us, watching our kingdom turn into dust. Ashes to ashes, and cold to the touch. I guess that I loved you a little too much. Let the organ play a slow bit of melody for the ghost of the person I used to be. Preach and say a prayer for the heart you destroyed. Welcome to the graveyard, welcome to the void. I dug the grave with my own bare hands, right through the middle of our future plans. I'm burying the laughter we shared in July, and the night you believed that you'd never lie. I passed by the fountain where we used to sit. The water has dried and the candles unlit. It's a peaceful quiet, a beautiful grief, a final surrender, a tragic relief. There are no flowers, no eulogy read, just a cold stone marker where we used to tread. I'm lowering the memory of your sweet embrace deep into the earth, leaving no trace. And it's the funeral of my feelings, the burial of us, watching our kingdom turn into dust. Ashes to ashes, and cold to the touch. I guess that I loved you a little too much. Let the organ play a slow bit of melody for the ghost of the person I used to be. Preach and say a prayer for the heart you destroyed. Welcome to the graveyard, welcome to the void. Rest in peace to the hope that you'd stay. Rest in peace to the words we didn't say. I'm throwing a handful of dirt on your name, extinguishing the very last spark of the flame. It's over, it's finished, the casket is closed. I'm leaving behind the life that you fade out on a broken chord. I've laid down my shield, I've dropped my sword. The service is over, the mourners are gone. The soil is fresh, the grass will grow over the truest love that I'll ever know. Amen. The funeral of my feelings. I smiled when my world fell apart, hiding every scar inside my heart. You held my hand but never knew how much I was breaking next to you. Every I'm fine was just a lie, another silent cry at night. I carried storms behind my face while you walked away without a trace. And I kept bleeding quietly, hoping someday you would see the love I gave, the tears I wore, the shattered soul behind the door. You never saw the pain living underneath my skin, never heard the war inside or the darkness pulling in. I loved you more than words could say while you slowly slipped away. Now I'm alone with memories and wounds that never fade. Your shadow still sleeps in this room, like a ghost wrapped in perfume. I still replay the sound goodbye and every reason why I cried. The nights grew colder after you. Blue hearts don't heal the way they should. I tried to save what still remained, but love and loss became the same. Now every mirror shows a man still hurting more than he can stand, trying to heal what you ignored, the pain you never saw before. You never saw the pain living underneath my skin, never heard the war inside or the darkness pulling in. I loved you more than words could say while you slowly slipped away. Now I'm alone with memories and wounds that never fade. Maybe if you looked into my eyes, you would have seen a soul screaming inside. Maybe if you stayed one more night, I wouldn't be lost in this fight. But some hearts break in silence, without a sound, without violence, and mine still aches the same every time I hear your name. You never saw the pain, but I carried it for years. Behind every broken smile, behind every hidden tear. And even if you never cared, I still loved you through it all. Now all I have left tonight is the pain you never saw. The slow decay of hope. I've been watching the rust eat the edges of us, a little bit every day, a microscopic dust. We still say I love you out of habit and fear, but the weight of the words has been gone for a year. I keep fixing the leaks in the roof of this home, pretending we aren't just completely alone. But the timber is rotting, the foundation is weak, and we're running out of comfort to seek. It's not a sudden wildfire burning us down, it's a slow motion flood where we quietly drown. I keep looking for signs that the weather would change, but everything beautiful is starting to feel strange. And it's the slow decay of hope, the fraying of a heavy rope. We're holding on to threads that are starting to snap, trying to find our way back with a blank canvas map. Yeah, the poison is patient, it takes a sweet time, turning our paradise into a crime. I'm fighting for a future that's slipping away, watching the brightest go tarnished to gray. It's the slow decay of hope. I remember when looking at you was a spark that could light up the corners of any deep dark. Now it's a flickering bulb in an abandoned hall, casting long distorted shadows on the wall. We sit through the dinners and talk about plans, but I feel the distance when I look at our hands. We're like two historic monuments falling apart, a gradual ruin of the human heart. It's not a sudden wildfire burning us down, it's a slow motion flood where we quietly drown. I keep looking for signs that the weather will change, but everything beautiful is starting to feel strange. And it's the slow decay of hope, the fraying of a heavy rope. We're holding on to threads that are starting to snap, trying to find our way back with a blank canvas map. Yeah, the poison is patient, it takes a sweet time, turning our paradise into a crime. I'm fighting for a future that's slipping away, watching the brightest go tarnished to gray. It's the slow decay of I wanted to believe we were more than just us, but the compromise is killing me, the patience is gone. It's a midnight that refuses to turn into dawn. You can't save a tree when the roots have gone dry, and you can't fake a spark when you look in my nothing left to say, nothing left to mend, just the quiet arrival of the predictable end, the slow decay of hope. Gone, gone. I'm standing right here under the hallway light, but you're looking at a ghost from 3 years ago. You keep trying to fit me into clothes that feel too tight, chasing a shadow that I used to know. You ask why I don't laugh the way I used to do, why the shine in my eyes seems a little bit dim, but you don't see the wreckage that I carried through, or how hard it was to sink so I could learn to swim. You're holding a mirror to an old photograph, begging the pieces to put themselves back. But time is a river that only runs fast, and we're just 2 trains on a different track. 'Cause the version of me you loved is gone. She left with the sunrise, she moved along. You're in love with a memory, a girl in a dream, and she's not as close as she suddenly seems. I can't be the person I was at the start. I can't unbreak the corners of this heavy heart. You're wishing on stars that have already fallen from you. Yeah, the version of me you loved doesn't love you. You sit in the garden where the bamboo grows. The fountain is trickling a beautiful sound, but the water keeps moving and everyone knows you can't keep a wild thing pinned to the ground. You look in my face and you look for the spark, the naive little believer who gave you her hand. Now I'm just a realist who survived in the dark, and that's a version of me you don't understand. Yeah, you're holding a mirror to an old photograph, begging the pieces to put themselves back. But time is a river that only runs fast, and we're just 2 trains on a different track. 'Cause the version of me you loved is gone. She left with the sunrise, she moved along. You're in love with a memory, a girl in a dream, and she's not as close as she suddenly seems. I can't be the person I was at the start. I can't unbreak the corners of this heavy heart. You're wishing on stars that have already fallen from you. Yeah, the version of me you love doesn't love you. Is it a crime to grow? Is it a crime to change? Why does my healing make you feel so strange? I had to rebuild from the ash on the floor. I'm sorry I'm not who I was anymore, but I won't apologize for surviving the storm, just because you missed the girl who was warm. Keeping the scars on this heavy heart. Go look for the ghost that you're holding on to, because she's gone and I'm right here, but you can't see me through your tears. The version of me you loved is history. world moves on without me. I'm standing still on the crowded sidewalk, people rushing past, checking their phones. A blur of morning rush and casual small talk, while I am a monument made out of stone. The trains are on time, the traffic is moving, the coffee shop down on the corner is full. Nobody notices the life I've been losing, or the gravity fighting my internal pull. They didn't stop the clocks when you said goodbye. The sun didn't drop from the middle of the sky. The grid didn't crash, the engines didn't fail. It's just a normal Tuesday on a massive scale. And the world moves on without me, spinning around like it doesn't care about me. The seasons are shifting, the neon signs glow, and nobody pauses to look at the snow that's falling inside of my fractured chest, while the rest of the city is trying its best to keep moving forward, to busy the street, while I'm stuck in the place where we used to meet. Yeah, the world moves on without me. Go to the market, I walk through the aisle, the rows of bright colors, the families in line. I try to remember the mechanics of a smile, to convince a stray stranger that I'm doing fine. But my shopping cart's empty, my hands are so cold. I'm a ghost navigating a physical space, clinging to promises you used to hold, that left a permanent hollow right here in my place. They didn't close the park where we used to sit. The bamboo is green and the lamps are still lit. The water is flowing, a beautiful sound, while my entire kingdom is burned to the ground. And the world moves on without me, spinning around like it doesn't care about me. The seasons are shifting, the neon signs glow, and nobody pauses to look at the snow that's falling inside of my fractured chest, while the rest of the city is trying its best to keep moving forward, to busy the street, while I'm stuck in the place where we used to meet. Yeah, the world moves on without me. Can somebody read from my unfinished book? I'm drowning in broad daylight, right at your feet. Does anyone see me here on the concrete? But the footsteps keep pounding, the engines just roar, and nobody opens a closing door for a heartbreak they can't see, for a heartbreak they can't see. And I'm finally letting your memory go. They keep walking, they keep driving. The sun is coming up and I'm still surviving. But the world moves on without me. This night is perfect for forgetting you. I call my friends and leave my phone at home to let the memories burn. But then the DJ starts to play the song we made our song. I asked the girls if we can leave right now, but the music stops me in my tracks. And then the violins play, and I remember, and I remember. And then the violins play, and I remember, and I remember. In the morning, I'm surrounded by my friends who know what you meant to me. And I know what they'll say. They'll say that I should get some sleep. I know that you're not thinking about me. It's not worth losing sleep. But then the violins play, and I remember, and I remember. And then the violins play, and I remember, and I remember. Here are the lyrics to watch it burn. We laid the bricks on a faulty floor. We hung the frame and we locked the door. We painted walls in a beautiful red, ignoring every single word the architect said. We knew the wood was a little too dry. We knew the sparks were beginning to fly. But we struck a match in the middle of spring and acted surprised by the damage it'd bring. We didn't build a shelter to keep out the cold. us to grow old. No, we gathered the timber and piled the wood. Deep down inside we always understood that we built it just to watch it burn. A tragic lesson we refused to learn. We poured the gasoline, we stoked the fire. A monument made of our own desire. And now we're standing in the backyard heat, watching the smoke rise over the street. Yeah, it was beautiful, it was our turn, but we built it just to watch it burn. The bamboo fountain in the garden path is choked with ash in the aftermath. The water's boiling from the rising flame, and there is nobody left but us to blame. You didn't betray me, I didn't deceive. We both knew the day that we'd have to leave. It was a glorious, terrifying sight, watching our history illuminate the night. We didn't build a shelter to keep out the cold. We didn't build a castle for us to grow old. No, we gathered the timber and piled the wood. Deep down inside we always understood that we built it just to watch it burn. A tragic lesson we refused to learn. We poured the gasoline, we stoked the fire. A monument made of our own desire. And now we're standing in the backyard heat, watching the smoke rise over the street. Yeah, it was beautiful, it was our turn, but we built it just to watch it burn. So let the flames climb higher, let the roof cave in. Show me the place where the ruins begin. Don't call the engines, don't try to save a house that was always destined for the grave. We're warming our hands on the wreckage we made, watching the colors of our kingdom fade. In the quiet grave, just a pile of ash, just a blackened frame. Nothing left to whisper, nothing left to name. We got our fire, we got our turn. We built it just to watch it burn.